Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. only on Capuchin TV. Well, hello and a very good afternoon to you, our dear viewer, from wherever you're tuning in from. And welcome to yet another episode of the Formerly Faith Show with me, your host, Susan Bulemi. So today we will be having a discussion that most people shy away from. However, it's something that really affects a lot of people, especially the young people today, which is navigating through trauma. Today we'll be discussing how there are different types of trauma. It can be emotional, it can be childhood trauma, or even grief. So with me here in our studio are wonderful guests who will help me dive deeper in today's conversation. But remember, our dear viewer, if you'd like to participate and if you'd like to share with us your perspective or your point of view on today's conversation, you can always send us an SMS via our SMS number 21760, or also you could leave us a comment on our social media handles and your message will be delivered. So now I'd like to take this opportunity to allow my guests introduce themselves, beginning from that end.
My name is Ryan Mwangi. I'm a student of Tangazo University taking social communication.
Okay, thank you, Ryan, and you're welcome.
Thank you.
Next.
Good afternoon. My name is Angela Nkesa. I'm a student at African Nazarene University taking a bachelor's in journalism. And thank you.
Welcome, Angela. Finally.
Hello. Thank you for having me. My name is David Kiprotich. I'm an alumnus from ZTech University. Who had been taking media. Yeah.
Okay, you're welcome, David, and all of you are welcome, and thank you for being on today's set. And maybe if we could just go straight into this conversation. We're talking about navigating through trauma. But first of all, we should begin with the basics, like explaining to our viewer today what we mean by trauma. And David, you could go first. Maybe you could tell us, according to you, what do you understand by the term trauma?
Okay, the term trauma can be defined differently, but according to me, these are mostly the events or the happenings that trigger you, either mostly in a negative way, according to the things that happen to you. For instance, if you went through problems like what do we call them? You were harassed. Those events, when they trigger you in different times or at times, I would define traumas as those events. Yeah.
Angela, how about you?
For me personally, trauma is memories from your past that impact you negatively and leave scarring, whether it's mostly emotional or psychological. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Ryan, how would you define trauma in your own words?
Trauma those are past experiences that somebody has ever gone through that have left scars, as my colleague here have said, maybe mentally, psychologically, and they affect you negatively, in which they give you maybe nightmares at night, or just those negative past experiences that somebody has gone through. Yeah.
And on that same note of how the three of you have explained on what trauma is, maybe if you could just list, or if you could just tell our viewer maybe some types of the traumas that people go through in their lives. Maybe childhood, or are there any other? Because we know that the most common one is maybe childhood trauma. Apart from that, is there any other?
Okay, like I said, these traumas mostly come as harassments that happen to people when they are young, or even when you are old. You may get a trauma at 15 and above, but mostly the traumas that are worse are from childhood. Maybe you have been harassed since 5 years, like your father or your mother or somebody else has been harassing you all through as you grew up. Those traumas always affect you later, and mostly they affect you when you are grown. Now you understand things, During that time, you are not understanding the world better. But now, if you think about it, that's why we say they trigger you. Maybe later on, you start interacting with people, but you realize you are being triggered by the things they do to you or say to you. That's because you had an experience in the past with such kind of people or someone who maybe harassed you. So I would say harassment is one of the big causes of traumas, or one of the traumas that can affect you later in life, being harassed in any way, either you are a boy or a girl. Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add to that, Angela?
No, I think my colleague has said it earlier.
Ryan?
Maybe I can give examples.
Okay.
One is assault. Can be physical, it can be sexual. Just any type of assault can leave trauma, not only to a child, but also to a grown individual. Other types of trauma are like, come from maybe even verbal abuse. Even talking to a child with verbal kumtusi, that also leaves trauma. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, moving forward, we're talking about trauma, and like I had said when we began the show, it's something that a lot of people don't really talk about. Why do you think that's the reason why most people don't like coming out and telling people, okay, maybe I went through this and this, that's why I behave in this way?
Okay. When it comes to traumas, like I said, there is how you interact with people later in life, and then you realize someone is talking so much about their father or their mother, how good they are, how helpful they have been in their growing up and everything, and then you realize now yours is the reverse. Maybe you are being harassed at home, being beaten, being abused, verbal abuse, like you said. So I think for you to get the courage to speak that to someone like your peers, it's very difficult, because how can I tell you my father has been harassing me or has been misusing me, insulting me, beating me, and then you're talking about how good your father is. So I look like, oh, it's only me who has been raised wrongly, who has been abused all that time. So I guess it's all about the self-esteem. You want to remain like you still have the good parenting like the others and everything, but at the end of the day, you know very well you are harassed. So it's so difficult for an individual unless you gain that courage not to speak it out. And of course, you would speak it out to your peers. Now that requires guidance and counseling. That's why we have those services. And that's where now you need to go to someone like a counselor. You spill everything, you tell them everything that has been happening, that happened to you, how it affects you, so that they can find a way to help you, not to your peers who may laugh at you and say, hey, or gossip about you, oh, this girl, this boy has been harassed or abused sexually, even sexually, those things happen nowadays. So there is no way I can say, oh, my dad used to harass me sexually. Of course, it's weird, and it's difficult to say the words to people who may not even understand it. So I guess it's all about self-esteem. You are trying to protect yourself at the end of the day. You can say the words, but you're trying to protect your peace, your self-esteem and everything. Yeah.
How about you, Angie? Why do you think people shy away from talking about it?
I feel like society has normalized abuse, and mental health really hasn't been a topic that has come up until recently. And there's also the culture of comparison, unfortunately, between the millennials and Gen Z. So you might find someone, when they come and talk about their trauma or what they're going through at home, it becomes a competition of, oh, we went through worse, my parents did worse, this and this and this and this. So everyone wants to seem that like they went through worse than whatever you're going through. That's why I say society has normalized abuse. As David has said, you might find a child has been harassed by either parent, male or female, and you were threatened. When you come out, you're threatened and told you'll ruin the family if you speak up. So silence has also been normalized in the name of protecting the image to the said society. Yeah, that's my take.
For me, a reason for not coming out can be saving whoever did that, caused that trauma in your life. Because not even, sometimes you find that an individual who has caused trauma to someone is a close person to them. So because this individual going through trauma cares about that person, maybe if they come out, they will maybe go to jail. Maybe it's their father or mother or maybe siblings or anybody close to them. Them coming out, they will definitely get their close family members taken to jail. And maybe they don't want something like that because they care about that individual who caused trauma, of which not coming out keeps on eating that individual, even if they care about this individual. Yeah.
It's really sad to see that most of the perpetrators are people that are close to the victim, and so you find that the victims choose to just remain silent because they're like, okay, at the end of the day, this is my family member. So it's actually sad. And also, moving forward, according to statistics, in Kenya, we've seen that almost half of secondary students are going through trauma and things like PTSD, and it's also worldwide actually. And that brings me to the next question. Why do you think this age group, because most of the children who are in high school, they are between 14 to 18, right? 14, 18, 19, that's the age gap. Why do you think that age gap is the one that is really, really affected by this trauma and such things? Maybe Ryan, you could go first.
One reason is I can speak specifically for girls. This is the age where a girl is entering womanhood. So during that age, you find that most of the times those girls are being taken advantage of by men around them. So you find that most girls are sexually assaulted during that age because that's the age that they are going into womanhood. So many men take advantage of them, causing them that trauma. And even boys, they're also going into manhood. Sometimes even women take advantage of these young boys, causing them that trauma during that delicate age.
Andre?
Personally, I feel like, as you've said, high schoolers, most of the high schools are boarding per se, in Kenya that is. And I feel like you've been removed from that environment that caused the abuse, whether physical or verbal abuse or sexual abuse, and been brought to a different environment. And trauma doesn't appear immediately. Once you're removed from that environment and you're in a more stable environment per se, is when your brain comes down, because it's no longer in a fight or flight mode. You're nervous, your jiggers nerve has now relaxed. So that's when your brain starts replaying memories from the past and experiences. And that's when your brain clicks like, wait, this and this happened and this isn't right. So that's why you find people falling into depression, PTSD, bipolar disorders and all that, because that's when your brain is now processing all the information or the abuse that has accumulated from the past to now. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, David?
Definitely. Now, when you talk about those people, the young people in high school, I guess that's where you start understanding everything properly. Now you can understand what this was, it happened. Now you when you think about it or hear other people talk about the same things, now you start understanding them better. And again, you also have the access to social media mostly. They have access to social media. So you see other people talking about what happened to them and how they did cope with it and how it affected them. Now you also feel like, okay, I need to come out. I need to say what happened to me, because I also realize it wasn't a good thing. And like Ryan said, these things happen during like at a young age. Now people take advantage of these young, mostly young girls. They are being taken advantage of, and at the time she doesn't understand what is happening. She thinks it's like part of life. But now, with the understanding of everything, she can now come out, and that's why now they are coming out. And when one person comes out, they see that the person gained courage to speak it out. Now they also gain the courage to speak it out. Like currently everyone is speaking of how it happened, how teachers, even like very own teachers that we entrust the kids with, do the things that cause the traumas to the kids. So now with the courage, now if naweza sema mwalimu, okay, kama ule alisema mwalimu wake alifanya hivi, babake nani, so I can also speak out. So that courage and understanding, I guess, it's the one that nurtures the whole confidence of now coming to the media or going on social media, like posting whatever happened to you. Now people react. And the good thing is social media is very, let's say, proactive. When you post about it, everyone now can see, can read and understand the story. And now you evaluate the story. Now you try to help these young people escape from this trauma. So I guess it's all about understanding and being mature. Like the brain is mature. You realize I was harassed. This was wrong. Yeah.
Okay, and in fact, with whatever the three of you have said, it has also reminded me of recently the documentary that was released of those young girls. Clearly, those young girls will have trauma that will really take time to heal and to get over, right? And okay, moving forward, I would also like to ask, navigating through trauma is not easy, and that is something that a lot of people do not understand. And I know I might receive some backlash, but especially our older generation, they do not understand that when you're trying to heal, when you're trying to navigate through the traumatic experiences that you went through, it takes time. You just don't wake up one day and you're like, oh, now I'm okay. So that brings me to the next question. What are some of how do you think the older generation would understand that healing process better, or how could we maybe make them aware and maybe try to explain to them that overcoming trauma takes time and healing is a process? Maybe what can be done, or how can we do it? How can we help them understand?
Okay, when you talk about the older generation, it's always complicated, like to explain everything to them. And it's sad. You're trying to explain this and this happened to me, but they don't trust you. Like a girl can come and say, my uncle did this to me. But your mom is like, ay, aje. Or they blame you for dressing in a certain way. So they put that blame on. You know, like we are in Africa, of course the parenting is not like in other countries. Utaambiwa sinijua wewe kuvaa hizo vitu unavaanga, I always tell you to do this and this. So I guess currently I don't think the older generation is struggling to understand these things, because also the parenting has changed a little bit. So it's all about explaining to your parents or making them understand that kuna vitu zingine zitaniapenia, and I didn't want these things to happen to me, but it already happened, and I'm going through a very difficult time. In an African home, explaining how difficult your time is very difficult again, because they also think, like, unaniambia maisha yako ni ngumu, na mimi najaribu kutafuta fee usome. Maisha nani ngumu? You are 4, you are 5. So it's all about explaining, and I think to do the explaining better, the people coming out, and our parents own Android phones, that like good phones that they can watch stories, TikToks, and they mostly use Facebook. And again, Facebook also posts all these things. So it's good, like this documentary, make sure your parent watches that documentary. Mweke, and then tell them, this is what kids go through. This is what as young people we go through. And sometimes explaining it to you becomes very difficult. So it's better nikuwekee kitu uta watch and then you internalize the whole content, feel it, and then ask yourself, if it's my daughter or my son going through this, how will I react to this? Wazazi wa watoto wana react aje kuhusu hii documentary, you know? And that's when your parent will realize, okay, so I need to give this person time because they are going through a very difficult time. Like I was just raped, you cannot tell me ati maisha yako si ngumu. You need to listen to me unless you need to see your own child commit suicide. So I guess it's all about making our parents understand by doing what? Mostly watching. Make sure they watch these things and understand them. Mwambie mzazi, ebu angalia hii incident, what happened to these kids, what is happening. Now, kama kuna mtoto shule, your parent will be very concerned about the security of that child. Akikuja, kuna watoto wakitoka shule hivi high school, wanapelekwa therapy kwanza. Aende aspill if there is anything, so that the parent now anaweza jua what to do from there. So it's always good to make your parents understand. Usiwajudge ati we the older generation amwelewangi. It's all about you making them understand everything. Yeah.
And Angie, before you go next, there's a point you mentioned on dressing, and it's actually something that people started talking about when you're in a situation whereby you find maybe in a home, if your uncle is visiting and you're told, usivae hivyo, vaa hivi because uncle who so and so is coming, is also wrong. It can also traumatize the kid because that means anything can happen. Angie, you can proceed.
As David had said here, talking or navigating through the talk of trauma with older generations is a bit hard because they were not taught how to express themselves because of things like usilia ama nitakupea kitu ya kulia, you get such things. But I feel like there are very many ways to approach it. For example, there are healthcare specialists who have studied counseling and psychology who go about this and this and this. So I feel like enrolling in classes about mental health, like the way there's medical campaigns for like polio, NTB and all that, there should also be medical campaigns teaching about mental health in all areas, not only in urban areas but also in like rural areas where the people can speak vernacular and all that, so it can be all inclusive. I also feel like the older generation tends to listen to the church more, so the church should also take a step in educating the older generation on what mental health is, what trauma is, and how it can affect any individual. And I'm not saying that they should only focus on the children, but also on themselves, because they also have trauma. Like that's something that we see every day in an African household. And they don't understand. For us, we do understand, I'm behaving this and this and this way because this and this happened. But for them, they don't know. Like your parent will lash out, them they don't know, I'm lashing out because of a trigger. They think they are lashing out because you did something, and that's not the case. So the church and medical campaigns, honestly, that's the only way to go. Yeah, thank you.
For me, the older generations should stop the blame game. That this one happened because you dressed like this. Maybe you are verbally abused by your uncle because you are doing something wrong. You know, even if that caused it, there is no need of you blaming the person since it has already happened. It has left a scar in them. So there is no need of you blaming them. That actually adds salt to the wound. That actually adds salt. So even if that might have been the cause, don't blame them. Just try to look for a way they can heal from that rather than blaming them. You know, when you blame them, they actually think that there's something wrong with them. It's not, of which it's not. You have been assaulted. That should never happen to anybody. No matter your behavior, no matter how you behave, no matter how you dress, you should not go through these experiences. No matter the person, nobody deserves to go through these things. So blaming them actually makes it worse, and that's something that the older generations keep on doing. That this one happened because of this. So the blame game should actually end, and they should focus on how you can help this individual heal from this experience.
Just to counter what Diana said, there is this quote that says, hurt people. So it's not, okay, I'm not siding with them, but it'll sound like I'm siding with them for a second. They were also raised in the this and this happened because you did this and this and this. So for them, that's normal. So they'll tend to like pass it on as it is. They pass the trauma on as it is. That's why I'm saying you can't just, the way you said, you can't just wake up and heal. It's the same thing. They just can't wake up and stop, because for them, that was normalized during that time. The abuse was normalized during that time. So there are nicer ways to approach it. You can't just tell someone, acha kufanya hivyo, like it's not.
But you can. You can tell them, because that's something you can just explain, that you blaming someone adds the more salt to the wound. So just stop it. Just help them, because it's your child. Maybe it's your child. You blaming them, it's actually doing more harm than good. You can just explain it to them, and I'm sure they'll. Any parent can understand that.
Okay, last, like let me just the last. Let me just add on it. You might find, I saw a show. It was, I think, Dr. Phil, where this girl was trying to explain to her mother how she was sexually assaulted a while back, and the mother kept trying to tell the girl, okay, her approach wasn't nice, but the message was still there that I was also sexually assaulted. So you coming to tell me that you were sexually assaulted is a trigger for me. Is a trigger for me. So I heavily disagree with him, because hurt people like. Yeah, do you get what I'm saying?
I've been listening to friends.
Yeah, but okay, it's a saying, you used a saying, but I don't know if mine is a saying. I'll also say your trauma is not a reason to treat people or mistreat people in a, like, you just because I was misused or mistreated in the past, it doesn't mean I should channel that to my child. The most important thing to a parent is the child. So of course, just they should be actually protecting you from the things they went through. Like, you should never go through this. That's why we say, if I was raised from a very poor background, or let's say the best word, humble background, I won't raise my child the same way. If I can be able to use money to make sure my child is okay, I'll use money, because my parents were not able to use the money because they didn't have the money. So of course, and I see people posting, of course it's a post. We say don't be too serious with whatever people post, but you cannot post a quote, that quote, I'm not remembering it well, your trauma is not a reason to whatever, and then you're saying it is. Like your caption there, it is. No, of course, you are trying to tell me, if I ever get into your life, you are going to mess me up. So already I know you are a messed up person. So of course I won't get in touch with you in any way, because you have got the traumas that you carry them. It's like a curse. Now, if you carry them, they become a curse to you. And anyone interacting with you will be affected. So it's good to like change for the better. I was mistreated, but I won't mistreat anyone else. I cannot tell you I've been raped and then you talk about I was also raped. No, you can't be my mother, of course. I'll actually disown you before you disown me. No, because I was raped and you are actually celebrating it, or you are telling me I also went through the same thing. Let's be mindful of whatever we say to our children. Exactly.
Angela seems like she doesn't quite agree.
Can I
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I feel like they do it subconscious. I'm not defending the older generation. I do agree with what he said, that just because you went through something doesn't mean that you should mistreat someone else. But I'm saying you do it subconsciously. Like, let's say, for example, African household, ukivunja kikombe, the first thing they'll do is lash out. So even you as like an older sibling, when you see your brother or sister doing something wrong, the first thing is to lash out. Then later and you will come and be like, wait, why did I do that? So it's a subconscious thing. So you might find your parents, I'm not siding with parents here. I'm not siding with parents here. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so the conversation that you brought up has really led me to bring up this next question. Do you think trying to help a person who is going through trauma, do you think it to some point drains you? Do you think it affects you in some way?
I don't believe it drains you unless you're not, like you are not motivated enough to help someone. Yeah. Of course, you can come to me with a problem. Okay, of course not a problem related to money. If it's a problem related to money, we are all suffering. We are all suffering in the hands of the economy. Yeah. So what I can say is, you come to me and tell me, yo, my friend, your friend, okay, I have a friend, let's say Ryan is my friend. Yeah. You come to me and tell me, Ryan harassed me in some way. Yeah. Okay, I'm choosing Ryan because I'm using her as an example, her, him. So she is talking about Ryan harassing her. So, of course, I won't tell you, huyu anakuanga hivyo. Of course, I won't tell you that. If you tell that to a girl, you have actually destroyed everything. Like, hata iriange kuja, or any other younger person. So, if you come to me and tell me, mtu fulani aliniharasa ama aliniambia hivi, there is a word alitumia, and it wasn't okay with me. I'll first internalize the statement because, and ask you another question. Was it a joke or was it serious? Because people joke a lot nowadays. So I might be joking and then you take it serious. So again, I won't tell you ati unani drain, kukusikiza ni ngumu. But again, if it is something to do with a relationship, now you are draining me. I came for the first time. You came to me. I have friends that come to me. I'm sorry, I won't mention you. But I have female friends mostly that come and tell me, hey, somebody did this and this and this. Okay, my advice, of course, if I listen to that, whatever the person did, and realize, no, this is wrong. More so if it comes to being assaulted, like physical abuse now, I'll tell you, please don't go back to that person. Instead, take your time to heal and move on. The problem with people nowadays is they don't want to heal. We just want to jump from one relationship to another. So if it's anything to do with relationship, ukikuja mara kama tano, of course you are draining me. I also have my own relationships to work on, to deal with my own problems, and I go to people. And I make sure siendi kwa mtu mara tano because of one person. So yeah, one person cannot destroy your life just because you feel like, I love this person. So if it's a relationship, by the way, honestly, you're in a drain watu. You can't keep telling me about the same man, the same woman, the same man, the same woman. There are so many people out here who are ready to. And that's why we say, come healed. I'm not ready to treat your traumas or everything that came from a relationship that you had. Take your time to heal. And then now look for someone, because if you come ndo umetoka kupikwa proper yo heartbreak and everything, ukuje kwangu, you will ruin my life, of course. So come healed. Take your time to heal. Healing is the best thing ever. That anyone who has ever healed can tell you this is the best feeling ever. Like I've gone through this na nika heal and I didn't go back to the same people. Hata therapist atakwambia bwana, umetry mtu mwingine, because you keep talking about Kevo, Ryan. You keep talking about the same person all the time. It's like there are no other men out here or women. Don't come to someone with the same problem. That's draining. By the way, that's draining, I can say. Yeah.
Angela, do you agree?
I disagree. Okay, I agree to disagree. I am fully on board. It gets draining sometimes, because if someone isn't ready to work on that trauma, there's no way you'll help that person, because that person will just be looking for an outlet to like outpour the feelings and all that. They're not looking for, as he said, healing. I disagree on the word healing, because no one ever truly heals. It's like grief. You can never truly heal from grief, because it's something you have to live with for the rest of your life. But you do learn to manage your triggers. That's, I think he could have framed it as manage your triggers before coming to me. And for the relationship bit, I don't think people fully understand the concept of emotional manipulation. Like, this person was once your safe space and all this, and you do understand the concept of love bombing and all that. So in your mind, you're like, oh, maybe this person is doing this and this and this because they're going through this and this and this and this, right? So you're like, oh, but they used to be this and this type of way, so maybe they'll go back to that. But unless somebody, just to summarize everything, unless somebody is willing to work on the triggers and traumas, then it can get draining. It can honestly get draining, because everyone has trauma. Like, everyone has trauma at this point. So yeah.
Okay. Ryan.
For me, I think it can get draining if the person you are taking your maybe story to has gone through a similar experience with you. If you take that heartbreak situation to someone who has also gone through heartbreak recently, both of you won't help each other, because both of you are just bitter and angry because of that situation. But it can also not be draining if that person has moved on from that experience. So it depends with if this person is going through a similar type of trauma as you, if they are going through it or if they have healed from it. So it depends. It can drain you if you are going through it. It cannot drain you if you are not going through it, or maybe you have healed from it. Yeah.
Perspectives, but yeah. Maybe before we conclude, this question is directed to Ryan and David, because Angela had mentioned earlier, she had talked about some of the ways we can try to overcome and navigate through trauma, and she mentioned things like medical campaigns, and also the church could play a role in that also. Maybe apart from those two, what other ways could we?
Pardon?
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, I asked, what other ways can people overcome their traumas? Like Angela had mentioned, we can have medical campaigns, or the church can play a role in creating awareness on trauma. What other ways can people overcome their trauma?
Okay, I am speaking on an individual point of view, that all of us together, if we normalize talking to each other about trauma and not judging each other based on what we have gone through, I think it's going to make the world a better place. Since if you know, when I have people to talk to, and I have people who are willing to listen to me about whatever I went through, it will make me feel welcome in any space. So, like us, we have to change individually. Don't be selfish. I know everybody is going through something in their life, but I also urge everybody to be welcoming to anybody who is going through something maybe even worse from you. Because by welcoming and listening to that individual, maybe you will heal from something yourself. Because when you listen to them, they will have that positive, I can say positive energy going through them. So even when you go through something in future, you can go to them or even other people, because all of us are welcoming to each other. So all of us as individuals, we have to change and be welcoming to each
everyone,
one
yeah.
and every one of us.
Okay, that is nice. David?
Okay, personally, I say there are many ways to overcome trauma, but I guess it all comes down to you as a person. Now you've reached a point you understand now that was wrong. It's something that has caused trauma to me, and everyone around me, I might affect them through my trauma. So it's you to now sit down, internalize it, and then find the most suitable person to talk to. There are many people to talk to. No, don't go to your friends who you are sure they might laugh about it and make it worse. Go to someone who you understand, they won't laugh about it, and they will listen to you well, tell you what you can do. Try different people that you can trust. So it's all about you now. Your self-esteem matters the most. Love yourself. And then don't go back to the same things that caused you trauma. That is all I can say. Like, don't go back to those things, because if you keep going back, you'll never be able to heal from those traumas. Yeah.
Okay, maybe now as we conclude, because I can see we're running out of time, your parting shot, whatever you have to say, your final message in regards to today's topic. Any advice or anything?
My advice will go to, first, the older generation, our parents. Try to understand your kids, listen to them, and again, whatever you went through should not be a reason for you to treat your child or your friends the same way. Like, if you are mistreated or bad things done to you, please try to change, because we need to make the world a better place. And another thing goes to those in maybe traumas that were caused by maybe relationships. Try as much as you can not to go back to the same situations that you are in. Yeah.
Okay, Angie?
This is a general message. Whatever you went through, you didn't deserve it. Whatever happened to you wasn't right, and maybe someday, sometime, you might get the help you need. Yeah, that's all from me.
Okay, finally, Ryan.
All I can say is, if you are going through traumatic experiences in your life, just know that you always have somebody that you can talk to, and somebody who can listen to you. And if you're an individual who somebody else is coming to you for telling you about their traumatic experiences, be welcoming to them. Show them support, show them that you are there for them, and that will make people feel more, people will heal from whatever they went through in life, just because of that care and togetherness of every individual. Yeah.
Okay, thank you all of you so much for the words and everything you've had to say to our viewer today. And that brings us to the end of today's episode, and it was quite a powerful episode. We were discussing on navigating through trauma, and what we've basically learned is trauma doesn't have to define us, and that healing is possible, and it takes time, but it is possible. So that was all here from me, Susan Bulemi. Until next week, same time, same place, be blessed. Well, hello to you, our dear viewers of Capuchin TV, and welcome to the Family Faith Show, whereby we get to interact with the youth in various ways.
Let's stop judging people according to their tribes.
We present to you fresh perspectives, exciting conversations, engaging debates, Bible trivia discussions, showcasing of talents such as singing, dancing, art, and so much more from guests who keep it real and authentic.
Sasa wewe, nitajuaje hautanihat? It's true that human nature covers us, our God baby, our God toto.
So So buckle up because this season is about to be epic with me, your one and only host, Susan Bulemi. Keep it locked right here on the Family Faith Show every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. only on Capuchin TV.